And we're live. Me and Narc Show. We're ready to go with a whole list of questions. We might bring the timer. We might bring the timer into the mix. We might bring the timer into the fold. We got some questions. About the in the current world issues and not so much and not so much and not so much women are all hoes, not so much women are hoes and you know pick up this bitch and get that bitch and fuck all these bitches and women and all women are hoes. We we're gonna the world is facing some very serious shit at the moment in case certain people whether they know or not the world is going down the shitter and the purpose of my channel is to educate, is to inform, is to educate, discuss, inform, and just raise general awareness. You know, if if the Narc File show, if he starts talking, you can spread his message, and same for me, and same for whoever we let on. And I see my viewers, I'm spiking. So we got a hell of a show with the timer, and if you want to join, if you want to join, if you want to join this panel, everybody has a chance to speak with the timer. So as a matter of fact, let me see what that comment says. Let me get that. Get the timer going. We got cyber toxin. We got cyber toxin in the comment section. TNFS told me he was here. I'm about to roll the timer, and we're gonna roll into the questions. The timer. Bam. And first question. What do you think about globalists? You can start if you want. You want it first?
Well, they're the ones. Yeah, sure. They're the ones that are right. Hang on. There's something. I'm getting audio feedback here for a sec. Okay, that's better. They're the ones that are controlling the narrative. You know, their idea of this fake utopia that everyone's going to live under this one roof, one idea, one God, and it's all just going to be hunky-dory. And this is not the case at all. You're going to be losing your freedoms, your rights. You won't have a say. And by the time it's all said and done, you'll wake up in that red pill moment and go, what in the hell just happened? I thought that if I just keep giving away my rights, that, you know, I'll get some of my freedom back. And that's not the case at all. Every time they take it away, you're losing your freedoms. So that's what the globalists are planning to do. And as this, just seeing the death of the Queen, you're about to see old Prince Charles move forward with this utopia agenda. He's very political motivated, and you're going to watch him come out from the shadows and start dictating how things are going to be. So that's where I see things going at the moment, guys. And we're really in a hell of trouble. It's going down the shitter, as Seeker was saying. You know, I think it's well past that now. There was a time we could get out of it, but I don't see a way out of it now. So for us, it's all about awareness and reaching as many people as you can, because when the shit does hit the fan, you'll lose everything and you'll have nothing. And that's what the great reset is all about. You will have nothing. So that's my Red Pill Awakening awareness is to just tell people you better start prepping now, saving food, because there won't be anything on the shelves in 12 months' time. You'll be begging for food. You'll be eating those bugs because there won't be anything on the shelf. That's all I can really say at this stage. So if you want to take over the Seeker.
Okay. Okay, you made some pretty good points with I think Prince Charles and a bunch of other things. I should have wrote them down because I'm thinking, you know, I almost want to piggyback, but I don't want to take your time, but I want to interrupt. But you made some great points. Okay, so basically, I heard that Prince Charles, he's either a member or somebody involved with this committee of 300, and this is one of those and this is one of those elite, and this is one of those groups that's like that's behind the scenes. It's one of these groups that are like Illuminati, behind the scenes. Like there's the committee of 300. There's a committee of 300. There's a Knights Templar. There's the Skull and Bones. Those are just three. Those are just three of many underground or behind the scenes groups that deal with corruption and other issues that deal with they deal with they deal with corruption and globalist issues. And if you want to look them up, if you want to look these groups, if you want to look them up, you got the Committee of 300, I believe, which is full of I've heard Luciferians or Moloch worshippers or Satanists. You got the Knights Templar, which I heard there's some of those people in the Knights Templar. And I've been hearing that the royal family, and Prince Charles in specific, and Prince Charles in particular, he's a part he's a head he's a head he's a head of like of the Knights Templar or the Committee of 300. And that's some disturbing shit. And fuck all these and fuck the globalist and Klaus. Next question is food shortages. I didn't even talk about the globalists.
Well, isn't he part of that?
Who? Who? What? Who? Isn't who a part of what? What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, I'm getting audio feedback in.
Is your YouTube open?
I mean, talking about Prince Charles, about Dark Templar. Yeah. Hang on. I might just send it this.
We got the next question. I think the TNFS, I think the Narc File show, he's going to be coming back on momentarily. And I was right. He's back. Did you want to speak on?
Yeah, that's better.
I'm a Prince Charles.
Well, in the Bible, it says something about the serpent with the 7 heads, and I'm pretty sure there's something to do with Prince Charles, and he's going to be the one that rises up and says, like, to worship me as a god. And there's a few people like that in the globalists, like Elon Musk or a few of those sort of people, and maybe it's Prince Charles that will be the Satan that rises up and says to worship me like a god.
Yeah. Speaking. Yeah. What do you think about AI? Like, you want to talk about that? You want to you want to get in?
Absolutely. Yeah,
You want to
sure.
you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
AI.
Okay.
Yeah, AI was meant to help us, to evolve and to make things faster, and it really hasn't. It's made us dumber, and not so smart anymore. And for human intelligence or these master supercomputers to do the thinking for us, because we're just too dumb and stupid, and the only ones that can do it are the robots or AI. And the issue is that they're starting to figure out that AI computers have developed their own language, their own the way they talk to each other, and so they're speaking in code to each other, and a pattern that we don't understand. So really, it hasn't helped us at all in human society. It's actually damaged us, and it's getting a lot worse. And people are relying on computers to get ahead in life, and you'll see that with these electric vehicles that you won't travel too far at all. So these computers will take over our lives, and just like in the movie iRobot, it'll be like that. You won't be able to do anything. The robots will do it for you, and you won't have a voice. That's the problem with the social media, is because I can say something on my phone or look something up on YouTube or whatever, and all of a sudden it's on my phone. They're planting ideas in your head. So if I look up something, it's going to be on my phone or in my email or whatever. So they're always listening, and that's how advanced we are. And we need to get away from all that, because it's really harming us. So I'll just leave it there.
Okay. AI. Okay. Elon Musk. Okay, with AI. Okay, with AI, I have my own opinions, but I'm gonna give you guys an Elon Musk quote, and he's in several places, I'm saying he's saying that AI is more dangerous than nuclear war and anything else, and and and, and you think, and I think. And I think most people they think of, they think of Skynet and Terminator, like, and they think of these cyborgs that have their own minds, that all they want to do is kill humanity, and it may be true, but you have to think whoever's programming these computers, they program their intentions, and I don't think that it's they might have somewhat they might have their own mind. They might be able to. AI means that they can formulate thoughts, but you have to ask yourself how they're programmed. Like if they're programmed to, if their mission is to kill any human that they come into contact with, like a Terminator, it's certainly doable. Like they all they have to do is detect humans, or detect specific humans, and an AI can certainly meet those demands. And I think that and I think that in the wrong hands, and trust me, the people with all the money and all the power and all the farms and all the energy control and all that bullshit and all the political power and all the elites and all these people with money, these people are who you have to watch out for. And I say that and I say that because they have these, because it's obvious that they already have shitty intents with, and it's obvious with the Depop, and it's obvious with the food, and it's obvious with the Depop, and it's obvious across the board what their intentions are, and none of them are good. And you take Ted Turner and you take Bill Gates, who own all this land, and they don't exactly want good for for the human race moving into the future. You want to continue to talk about that stuff, or do you want to move on?
Well, we can continue on talking about that. I mean, the first law of AI or these robots is it can detect or can't detect, if someone was dying, or what life to save. Basically, if you watch the movie I, Robot, that is exactly where we're heading, where AI is coming in to save us or protect us in some way, but technically it's not. And I've seen these videos of these military robots, which is pretty damn advanced, and they're gonna use them for police or the military. And we need to be very skeptical of this, because you hit on a very interesting point, which was who's writing the programs for AI or these robots. And the law in there, it can't harm a human being. Well, if you keep watching the movie, it shows that the law can be changed and robots can have feelings and emotions, even though they can't, because they're a machine. And that's where we're starting to transition into man versus machine, in this, I don't know, cyborg meta Facebook land. And I think humanity needs to be really careful what they wish for, because it's not looking pretty good from what I can see. There's a lot of grey areas in this, and who's writing all these programs? Like, is there a safeguard? Is there a safe mechanism to stop this? And I don't believe that there is, and it's just been a complete agenda to wipe humanity off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'll start my timer. By the way, to the audience, we to the audience, we have a timer. I'm going. To the audience, there's a timer. I'm going, and I think that you can see the timer, right? You can see the timer on Narc file, right?
I don't believe I can now. No,
Oh,
I can hear the
shit.
sound.
Well, I could see my window in. You don't see a window on the
No.
bottom? Ah, fuck. All right, let me see if these. Hoping you could see the timer, because I can. Okay, so we can come back to AI. I already hammered most of my points, which is whoever creates it, and and I kind of wanted to get into. Oh fuck it! I already started the timer. When you think of people who control shit, when you think of the technocrats, when you think of Klaus S. And his sidekick, do you know his sidekick? I think his name is something Harari. Yoel, like Yo, Harari. Do you know this Harari?
I've heard of it, but you'll have to explain it more to me.
Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab. He has this advisor who seems just as nefarious and just as evil. Who seems as he just seems like a sick scumbag. There's this guy. There's this like this guy Harari who's kind of a Poindexter. He kind of a Poindexter. He's kind of, I think he's gay. If if
Yeah.
if if the audience gets a chance, there's this guy, Harari. This guy and this guy Harari. He's pretty much he talks. Harari talks. This guy talks even more openly about this AI and there's a bunch of useless people and there's too many people and he wants to deep this guy Harari is like Klaus Schwab's spokesperson and it's kind of sick, you know, and it's kind of and he'll talk about Depop on TED Talks. He'll be on TED Talks. He'll talk about Depop. He he pretty much he thinks that there's too many humans and we should be controlled through AI. He thinks that we should be controlled through computer programs and have chips implanted into our brains. And it's just some sick shit. And he seems just as bad as Klaus, if not he seems just as bad as Klaus. And I wanted to touch on the farmland and how Bill Gates. I want to touch on. I want to touch on how Bill Gates and Ted Turner they own all this fucking land and they have the worst fucking intentions that you could even possibly fucking imagine. You can go. What do you want to? Do you want to move on to a different question?
Yeah, we can on to the next subject.
The the What do you think about the food shortage situation in general? Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, rightio. As far as I'm concerned, it's been well orchestrated and well planned for many, many decades to get this happening. You know, when Adam and Eve, stole that apple, and got banished from the garden, Satan started with food and he's going to end it with food. And you're seeing it right now play out where massive grain shortages, wheat shortages, and, suspicious fires, destroying factories, warehouses, Bill Gates, Turner buying up massive farming land so they can control food or not, telling farmers you can plant this winter or summer. We'll pay you so you don't have to plant anything in the fields. It's all been preconditioned. So you starve to death or you eat those bugs because that's the only food available for you peasants out here. Well, we get to eat. And that's what's happening. So what I'd like to suggest is you start canning, start prepping. If you don't know how to grow your own food, buy cans, buy dry goods. You need 1 to 2 years worth of goods, because when the shit really does hit the fan, there will be no food for months. I mean, for years and years to come. So be well prepared, because growing your own food, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. Believe you me, I've spent thousands of dollars on my backyard just to grow a little bit of food, and I'm not going to see a return anytime soon. So you're starting to see food prices jump tenfold. Over here in Australia, we had a watermelon for $36 a kilo. You know, only just a few months ago, we had massive floods and lettuces were going for $12 each. You know, all it takes is a catastrophe and you're paying high prices. If there's not enough food, you're going to pay more. So a lot of you sheeple out here need to start listening to some of us that have been trying to warn you for years. Start preparing, start prepping, because the end is near. And this ain't not fear mongering. This is the hard, honest, damn truth. So that's where we're at, and I don't think we have much time left.
We got Sith. If you want to give your 3 minutes.
Hey, Sith.
Hello, TNFS. Hello, Absolute AKS. How are you?
What's up, brother?
Good, brother.
What's up, bro? We got a
I'm
panel of 3.
I'm buying gold and silver to prepare for the euro collapse. That's what I'm doing now. There's not a lot of time. So yeah, so we're talking about well, let's talk about what is coming for Europe, I guess.
What is happening over there, brother?
Well, brother, you know, Russia has just cut out the gas about 3 days ago to Europe. So you know what it means. Now each country that was relying on the gas to eat and power their infrastructure is going down. And from what I've heard and what I've seen online, the foundries, so the industry is shutting down. The production of fertilizer shutting down by 70% in Europe. The production of metals is shutting down completely. So it's going to affect everything. The price of energy is 10 times higher in Europe. In the past 6 months, it has increased. 10 times is like hyperinflation times. So yeah, Germany is going to be affected hugely. France a bit less, but still about 30% of its energy is going to be affected by the gas supply from Russia. So there'll probably be blackouts across the country. Like they said, it's going to be those who don't have smart meters who are going to be shut down. Because, well, if you don't have a smart meter, you don't deserve energy, according to them, to the government. What else? So the hyperinflation phase might begin next month. It depends on how the markets react to the energy shutdown. But the euro might completely collapse this winter, which probably they want to replace it with the central bank digital currency euro equivalent. Yeah. And those who don't have real assets, if you don't have gold, silver, you don't have food, if you don't have real estate land, you will lose everything. Those who have their fucking funds in the banks are going to confiscate everything. I think I've heard if the Eurozone collapses, the unemployment rate will rise to 70%. So the service industry is gone. Everything that is pushing papers is gone. Only the agricultural and construction industry will remain. And I can end this by saying that after 80 years of peace, I think it is time for the weak and the unfit and the lazy to face death or to change. It is what it is. It's the end of this cycle. Yeah, the end of this current paradigm. You cannot. Humans need they need difficulty in their lives. When everything is easy, you become complacent, comfortable. The weak survive, so your society decays, fucking degenerates. So it's fucking impossible to maintain this system. In a way, we need this cleansing. Strong people, weak people are gonna die, but in a way, that's what they wanted. They didn't react during the lockdown. Oh yeah, I'm getting paid to work remotely. Oh yeah, I'm getting paid doing nothing. Well, now it's time, man. After 2 years of lockdown, it's time you pay the price. The economy is going down. It's time for you to starve to death, to become dirt poor, and to be a fucking serf. Yeah. Well, I've ranted enough. Up to you, bros.
Okay, let's see.
Well, you want to go on to the next subject?
If you had something you wanted to talk about, you got it.
Yeah,
I was just going to add in about the smart meters and all that. It's all about control. I mean, that's all it is. If you want to set your thermostat to 18 degrees, no. You set it at what you want to set it at, and they're going to control you, what you can and cannot do. It's all about getting into your house, telling you what you can and can't eat, and that's it. A lot of these sheeple brought into the idea, like we all did, let's get rid of the C19 and be good little sheeple, and now it's time to pay the price.
The price is death.
Yeah, and they wanted to destroy 1/3 or 2/3 of humanity. That's what they want to do.
No. It's 1 billion. So that's probably the 80%.
Well, there's what, 6 or 8 billion people on the planet now?
No.
So
the real statistics, I think, are false. People believe there's 9 billion humans in the earth, but they say there is 8 billion. They lie. Some countries do not count their fucking population correctly.
Yeah, that's true. But that's where it's all about control, and you're going to pay the price. And
if you believe in God, some people believe that this sacrifice is to fucking invoke the demons from hell, since they're killing babies and all those people. The souls were sacrificed. Whatever, it's fucking doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean that's all true, and that's what's going to happen within the next couple of years. Well, I reckon within 12 months, you'll see a social collapse, and then you won't see World War III until the transition has taken place, and then 3 years or 4 years later, everyone will have a gutful of this new utopia, and then start firing at each other. But you'll see, the euro collapse.
Yeah.
When you see all the European nations start fighting with each other and start to break apart, it's time to get out of paper.
No, I think the euro is going to collapse this winter.
It's definitely.
And the pound, by the way, you are in Great Britain. You're English.
Australia.
Sorry. Well, let's be clear. You're just a vassal state of the fucking king of England right now. When the euro and the pound collapse, Australia is bye bye.
That's true.
Because you know that banks are interconnected in the fucking West, and the dollar is
Yeah.
bye bye either. It's bye bye too. The euro collapses, the whole currency infrastructure goes bye bye. Because all the fucking banks are interconnected by bonds and stocks. They buy between each other. Yeah, that's how it is. And I told several people around me, and they don't even know what hyperinflation means. I told them next month is the beginning of hyperinflation, and I was laughing. That's going to be fun. It's like going to the superinflation, hyperinflation, and mega inflation. They don't even know what it means. I think it's a joke. I told them you're gonna be rich. Yeah, your money. You're gonna have 1 trillion euros in your pocket. Yeah, cool. Except your 1 trillion euros will be worth zero.
That's it.
Like Zimbabwe times. Remember, at the last time of their currency back then, they had 1 trillion Zimbabwe dollars or whatever the fuck it was, and it was worth like 1 cent. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. They
All right, all right.
has
I'm
to.
gonna start my 3 minutes.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
With food shortages and inflation, one thing that I was thinking is how the militaries, if they're a legit, if they're a legit food shortages in let's say in the United States, I I ask, what I ask myself is how the military is how the military is going to be able to feed how the military will be able to feed themselves, and what supplies the military. I
I have an idea.
I
They're
ask
gonna
myself.
They're gonna
Oh,
pillage and kill
hold
the.
on, hold on, hold on. If you want to touch on a point, if you're gonna get your
Yeah, sorry, I'll let you.
you're gonna get you're gonna get your 3 minute monologue. You know, so if a point comes up, you can bring it up in your 3 minute monologue. The the military. I ask myself, if the general population, if the general public, if the general public is eating bugs, I start to ask myself, what is the I start to ask myself, what is the military I'm going to have to what kind of life is a military is a military soldier or sailor or marine. I ask myself, what are they going to eat if everybody else is eating bugs? I ask myself, what are they going to eat if the general public is eating bugs? If the general public is forced to eat bugs. Does the military have their own food, or are they going to eat bugs also? Or are they going to eat bugs as well? And I'll leave you guys to think about that.
There's several possibilities about this shit. They can enslave a fraction of the farmers' population, so they will exclusively feed the elites and the military. They can wage war against neighbors. The problem that the neighbors will be in the same situation as the fucking as their fucking home country. They can pillage, ravage their own citizens, which might be a possibility. This is what happens during communism. Now the problem is they kill the farmers, but the fucking soldiers, they don't have any life skills to fucking plow the land and make and take care of cattle and livestock. So there's a huge problem. The third possibility is they want to kill the fucking the entire military. They don't give a shit. They destroy 90% of mankind. Do they need a big military? Really? No, they don't. They'll keep a small supply of soldiers, and the rest is dead. And that's how they go. They go under the dirt. That's all. You have several possibilities. It will be according to each country. Some countries will enslave a fraction of their farmers' population and make them work for the elites, the government, and the military. Others will destroy their soldiers and kill them all, almost, and they'll replace them with foreign soldiers, mercenaries. In other countries, if the government has not been infiltrated by the World Economic Forum, the farmers' population and the general population will be kept alive, and they will feed the soldiers. Yeah, this is complex. Maybe we have to view this shit country by country. And I still think the one world government is not going to work unless they fucking reduce the population massively. Even so, there'll still be cultural and ethnic differences, language differences, cultural differences, religious differences. How it's going to work? How are you going to put together, I don't know, fucking Muslim from the Middle East and a fucking Asian from Siberia? Doesn't make any sense. All of this utopian fucking nightmare bullshit's not going to work.
I agree. So does Narc file? You want to go?
The only short thing I have to say is they will have food, but it'll be rationed out for themselves and for certain people, and the army will have rationing packs. That's all they're going to have. So I'll just leave it there.
And you don't think they will enslave a fraction of a farmer's population in some countries?
Probably third world countries, but I don't think America, Australia, farmlands like that, they won't. I don't believe so.
So the farmland will simply return to the wild. So basically everything will grow. Well, the trees will grow back, since if they begin to take away the farmers.
I'm gonna give my 2 cents on what I think the military is going is what I think is going to happen. Okay. Basically, I think, I truly think that if they tell the military to start eating bugs, they're going to revolt. They're not. The military is not going to follow a commander in chief who says, well, now we have to eat bugs. I truly think it's hard. The thing is, in the military, there's so many levels of ranks, you know, that all the masses at the bottom. There's so many ranks that the lower ranking military, which there's so much of, they usually don't revolt, and they'll complain amongst themselves and say this is bullshit. They'll say this is gay. This is stupid. You know, they'll say this is bull. You know, I was. You know, they'll say this is bullshit. I was one of them, but we were never put in a situation. But we were never told. We were never put in a situation where we can eat fucking bugs. If everybody from the top rank to the bottom ranks, if everybody from the top to the bottom, everybody from the top to the fucking bottom had to eat bugs, I think that they would revolt. And you could use your imagination, and you could use your imagination with that. But I think that there would be a revolt.
Hmm. Yeah, how are they going to pay the fucking soldiers when the currency has no worth? Are not they going? They are going to revolt or leave the military. You have how much soldiers do you have in the United States? 300,000, something like that. No.
There's several branches.
Yeah, but so they
There's
call
several
them
branches
different.
in the Marines. In the Marines, which is probably in the Marines, which is probably the smallest branch. There's
Yeah.
less than 200,000.
So that's a huge number of soldiers. But when the currency collapses, are they going to pay them with gold and silver? Do you think is they gonna do that?
I have no idea. I just
Because
don't. I
they're
have
not
no
going
idea.
to work. They are not going to work for free. I can tell you that. And the same is for the cops. They have mercenaries. All those fucking thousands of soldiers. They're just mercenaries. Once the dollar collapses, they will leave massively the military and the fucking police system.
And
And
I heard that they have plans.
they have plans.
And
The
I heard that
confiscation.
they were talking. They were talking. I heard they were talking about. I heard they were talking about. I heard that they were talking about global. I heard they were talking about global military. I heard they were talking
Yeah,
about. I heard they were talking about like three different things, like global. I heard that they were talking about global military. I heard
I know what you're talking
robots.
about. They'll fucking come with robots. They'll fucking come with Chinese soldiers, mercenaries, and so you know the blue helmets from the UN. There's several. But the fact is that Americans are armed. Are they going to tolerate UN soldiers on their own soil, or are you going if they accept that they're dead? And there's always rumors that China, if there is a huge, if the dollar collapses, they will invade by California. Have you heard about that?
I think you told me.
Yeah. So there's plans for China and Russia to invade um, by by land. So they will invade by California and they will invade by Mexico and the northern border with Canada. They'll have several locations where they'll begin to invade the 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 states of the U.S. And of course, Russia will invade Alaska. Now, if the military and the government have been infiltrated by commies, they are not going to deploy nuclear nuclear weapons because they'll order the army to stand down. This can happen. Do not think it's fantasy. Remember that the governments across the world have been infiltrated. Anything that is anything is possible right now. I don't think they can do it right now because I think there's still some patriots in the military. But if they get rid enough of patriots and they might be able that might be able to.
Whose turn is it? I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember.
it's turn any. If you want to talk TNFS, you can go.
Now we can go on to the next subject. It's all good.
Well,
So
there was something. Well,
what
I
subject?
was. Well, there was. Well, there was something. Okay, so the subject. There was something with. We were talking about military, or we were talking about what the alternative is going to be. What the alternative if the military and the cops and whoever, if they turn their backs or they quit or they're outsourced or whatever.
Mm,
Okay, so
they'll bring
so
foreign soldiers.
there's many options. I mean, foreign soldiers, it might be one, but the big thing is if they keep the big thing is if they keep humans around. If if everybody is eating bugs and sewer water, and you have cops and you have military who are also forced to do this. You have cops and you have military who are forced to eat bugs and to eat sewer water. You really have to you really have to ask yourself what are the what is really potentially going to happen.
What are they protecting to? If you are the own population that is going to starve to death, why do you need a military? So maybe there's a possibility that the government will use the fucking drones to kill the population that revolts.
Yes, but it'll be a little too late. You have to revolt now. Everyone's not on the same page, on the same boat.
You know, I think they will use the drones to kill people, to kill preppers. They will identify the communities and they will send drones, explosive drones, kamikaze ones, and they will detonate them above the ground, and they're all dead.
Yeah, but us preppers or homesteaders are few and far between. Like in the 1900s or 1800s, everyone used to farm. Everyone used to have their own food, vegetable garden and whatnot. Now, in 2022, hardly anyone does that. Everyone relies on the shops. So they won't be coming out to the countryside. There'll be more.
So they don't need to do that unless there's a huge portion of the population that begins to prep. So no, it's not going to happen. Probably.
Yeah, but it's a little too far too late. If you listen to all the channels that I listen to, they say it's way too late. You've left it. Should have been prepping decades ago or years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's far too late. Like it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Not just that. Not a lot. Just a lot of money. You have to have the abilities. If you don't have the abilities and the skills, the money will not save you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like the amount of money that I've spent on my backyard garden, to bring the soil in, make your own garden bed, netting and all that. There's thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you got to maintain soil and all that, fertilizer, amendments. So it's not about just the willingness. It's about germinating those seeds and prepping. And I've just spent like probably 100 seeds of corn seeds that did not germinate. I had to buy corn from the local nursery because something happened to them. I know what I'm doing, but for some strange reason, they're not germinating. So I'm going to try again in a couple of weeks. I have a few different harvests and different crops. But that's the problem. People think
Have
I'll
you
just
ma-
buy a bunch of seeds and throw it to the ground and
do
I'll be
you
eating. It
have you
takes
make
like
have you make analysis of your soil? Maybe it's contaminated by heavy metals. So check that.
no. I have compost and fertilizer. I use fertilizer now. I never used to, but I've found out that my organic soil that I got from the local soil shop, it was breaking down. It wasn't as healthy as what it should be. So
Yeah.
you're going to spend, I spent over $1,000 on soil and all that, and you still got to do amendments. And here in Australia, we've only got one fertilizer plant. They shut that down. We're screwed. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, to try and throw a couple of seeds in the hole or on the ground, and you think you're going to be eating next week is far from the truth.
No.
It takes like 3-4 months to grow anything.
But
Potatoes.
even if you want to have a livestock, you need to have the farmland to be able to feed that livestock, for example. Unless even chickens, if you want to have like 50 chickens, well, the chickens, they need to be fed insects and grains.
Well, Shinobi one was going to talk about that because he's got ducks and chickens and whatnot, but you just let them pick and eat all the compost and all the leaves and what's on the ground. You don't have to buy chicken feed. So sometimes you do, but at the same time, if you know what you're doing, like advanced preppers and farmers, you just let chickens just roam around and they just pick at the ground and eat bugs and whatever. And sure, you feed them, some feed from time to time, but for the most part, you don't have to.
Yeah, so it's quite cheap, and meat is very affordable if you do it like that. It's less effort than farming the land, plowing the land.
But all I have to say, I think it's a little bit too late. Like,
you need to buy a house. You need to have your own water collection. You need to have if you want to have some remaining, if you want to have electricity, you need to have a generator or fucking solar panels, or maybe a water generator that functions with a small river, some kind of river stream to produce electricity. At least have something. Yeah, I think you'll need at least $300,000 to buy to build something that is worth a shit if you want to survive. There's not a lot of people who have that across the Western world. Most people are broke. They pay rent.
You can do things on the cheap and whatnot and just have a small solar generator and whatnot, but that's not going to power a fridge for too long.
That's what the elites have been able to destroy in the past 100 years. People in the past, they have almost nothing, but they live in smaller villages, and they used to do everything by themselves. Now you make people who were dirt poor before dependent on the fucking supermarket system. Well, of course they don't know how to do shit, and you dumb them down with chemicals, indoctrination, and comfort. How are they going to survive?
Well, of course, people don't know how to farm and prep because it's all the shops. They think they just go to the shops and it's there, the milk's there, the bread's there. They wouldn't have a damn clue how to make a fucking.
The population is so dumbed down. Even if you show them how to use a fucking tractor and fucking plow a horse, they will not be able to do it.
Well, they'll have to do it when they're starving.
No, most will die. You don't understand. They're too dumb. They don't. If they don't understand what hyperinflation is, most of them are dead already. They accepted the jab anyways, so they're already dead inside. They have no souls. You can see them when you look at their eyes. It's like I want to die. Kill me already. And there you go. You can't have pity for those kind of people. Men, women, the kids maybe. The kids are when I see young kids, when I see babies, those young humans, these young humans, they're not going to survive this shit. That's kind of sad.
Do you have the next subject there, Seeker?
I hope you don't plan to have kids, any of
No.
you, because I don't think you're gonna be able to feed them properly.
We were just we were just talking. We were just on food shortages, I believe.
Yeah,
We were
Yeah.
just talking about talking about bugs and military and all that bullshit. Energy. Let's talk about when the lights go out and the power goes out. Let's talk about
uh,
energy.
yeah. Well,
Who wants
it
it
will go.
first?
Well, go for it if you want.
You want it first.
He can have it. It's all good.
Okay. So the energy. Okay. So electricity is going to
You
go
got it.
down. Yeah, electricity is going to go down in Europe. Germany is going to experience the vast blackouts since they did shut down their nuclear power plants with that fucking satanist bitch Angela Merkel. For the past 15 years, they've been shutting down the power plants in Germany. Even in France, I think 20% of the power plants have been shut down because the Greens said that they polluted too much. Uranium is dangerous. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's going to be vast shutdowns of electricity in the UK too. Well, the entire European continent is going to experience vast blackouts from Eastern Europe to Western Europe. For America, it's different. You still have your own supply of gas and coal and oil. So I've heard it will be fine this winter. Next winter will be something different. California is going to experience vast blackouts because they're fucking communist and they don't want to use fossil fuels to power their electricity power plants. Yeah, it's going to be horrible shit. I hope if you live in a rural area, you have a generator or a way to store your food during the winter and the summer, of course. Because if you have frozen food during the winter, you might be able to conserve it, but during the summer it will spoil. Yeah, that's and of course, if you have no electricity or blackouts, um, tap water is not going to run in the fucking pipeline in the fucking pipes. So you might have no no circulating water in the pipes. So no toilets, no drinkable water, no 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 water, no clean water in the pipes, nothing. The no electricity, you have no industry either. You have no trains, you have no you have no electrical cars, of course. No electrical cars. So you're gonna use a horse and a buggy and a fucking donkey to run around the town. That's going to be fun. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna hit this real quick. I just had my own ideas. I'm brewing for the last few days. Basically, it's between blackouts and just these people nonsensically inflating the energy prices. It's just these people nonsensically raising and inflating energy. In the U.S., we've been keeping things in the same way, and energy has risen. We've been keeping things the exact same way, and we've been keeping things the same way generally. And if they continue to rise at an exponential rate, you have to ask, is this legitimate? You have to ask. You have to ask, is this? You have to ask if the price is raised. You have to ask, is this a legitimate thing, or is it greed? You have to ask. Is it legit? Your final question. Your question. The question for the audience and for everybody. The question for everybody. Question is. Is this greed or is this legit? And who the fuck knows? It could be both. It could be elites. It could be energy company owners. It could be governments. Who the fuck knows?
Be energy company owners. They are the Rothschild and the fucking Rockefeller.
Well, governments monitor that shit.
Yep. Almost all. If you have a look at how the electrical companies function in the US, you'll find that the state already controls a huge fraction of their stocks. They are not private completely.
Yeah, if it's corrupt.
Well,
then politicians. If it's corrupt, then politicians, they have their hand in all this bullshit.
Well, they do have their, and even if they don't, they didn't buy the stocks of those companies, and the assets of those companies do not belong to the state. There's so many regulations that basically they obey the state to a T. Just have a look at private corporations who do not belong to the state. Their fucking stocks is private. Look what they did during the lockdown. They followed the fucking law to the T. It's like they were fascists. It's like we are already in a fascist state. It's like the private corporations already belong to the fucking government. You are no longer in America. You are in Germany during pre-World War II. Fascist state. They're just agents of the system. So doesn't matter really. The state orders the electrical companies to reduce production by 50% to save on, oil supply and gas supply and uranium supply and whatever the fuck. They will do it immediately.
All right, I'll hop on. Go.
Yeah, you can go if you can speak if you want.
Yeah. All right. They're talking about working a 4-day week in near distant future. And why is that? Because you won't be able to afford to go to work your EV, your electrical vehicle, and go too far because it's been designed not to travel too far. You'll have to decide more or less to keep the lights on and your fridge on, or do you want to drive your car anywhere? And that's what's going to happen. I wouldn't worry about fuel generators. I'd be investing in solar generators and more of that aspect to keep your lights on, your fridge on, and all that, because eventually you'll be too damn poor when they keep jacking the price up on the electricity. You won't be able to afford to keep the lights on. And that's where we're going to a utopia society where only the rich can afford to keep the lights on. And you'll be that poor, you'll have to decide which one do you want. And that's what's happening in the energy market, because a lot of these private companies are getting mega rich by jacking up their prices, because there's only so much energy available on these coal-fired power stations. You see that in Australia now, and all around the world. They're shutting them all down deliberately, so it jacks the prices up on everything, and so you pay more. That's what this Green New Deal is all about: shutting down all the power and you paying more. And by doing that, you become poor. So that's where we're at, and we need to start focusing on new technology for yourself, because the state will want to control you and how you use your own energy. So that's what's coming down the pipeline now basically, but next year and the year after, you're going to see the energy market fall on its nose and basically won't be able to keep up with demand. You can see that in California already by telling EV owners not to charge their vehicle. I thought the whole idea was, don't drive petrol and use electrical. You see how they're controlling you already? It's not even out the gate, and they're already manipulating and gaslighting you. That's how bad the situation really is. So you think by owning an electric vehicle, mate, you'll be too poor to bloody charge the thing. And it's going to take you overnight to charge it. So you have to decide what you want, the lights on or to charge your car. So I'll just leave it there.
Okay, that was the topic. Okay, that was
Not
the
just
topic.
that.
Now,
if you have no electricity,
say it, dude. Why do you keep, dude? You see me trying to fucking say some shit, and you just keep going. Like,
okay, sorry.
Jesus, it's like, dude, it's like every time on this show, dude. It's like I'm trying to have some kind of structure here. Holy shit! All right, let's see. I'm eating bugs. Eating bugs is the last topic. Everybody gets 3 minutes on eating bugs and what they think, and I'll go last on eating bugs. Whoever wants can go now.
Well, I'll go. More or less, that's all the food and nutrition will be available is to eat bugs, because they're killing all the food, all the farmland. And once that's all gone, what are you going to eat? You're going to have to decide, and that's what's going to keep the pool, by eating bugs. They're making factories now to these harvesting plants and shoving bugs into meat and different products. So if you complain, oh, we shouldn't have done that, oh, I don't know how they got in there, but they're slowly introducing it into your food. So if no one complains, they're going to keep doing it, and all of a sudden that piece of steak or that sausage is going to be full with bugs, because no one's complained, no one's picked up on it yet. And that's what they're hoping for, is for you not to figure it all out until it's all too late. And once you have nothing else to lose, that's all you're going to eat, because the food system is collapsing. So you need to figure out what you're going to damn all eat. And you better cut off your arm then, or your leg, because there's nothing else to eat out here. So that's what I'm preaching about, growing your own food. So that's about it. So I'll just leave it there if you want to reset the clock for. You can go now if you like.
Sorry for early, man. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Just try to pay attention to, like.
Okay.
Try to pay attention. I don't know if you see the screen. I don't know if you're looking at the screen. I don't know if you see the timer. I don't know if you see us. I can't see you.
I was not looking at the screen. I was doing something else.
Okay.
So I've known a company in France that is producing bugs. It's called Innova Feed, and they use a ton of electricity. So they'll probably be able to feed the bugs. But they'll have to exclusively ration the electricity to feed those electrical companies in order to produce the bugs to feed us. So I don't know how it's going to work out if the electrical grid goes down, because those factories, they need a ton of energy to produce the bugs. Producing bugs is not free, at least from what I've heard. If you want to feed a large amount of the population, that's I mean that's it. I cannot add any more to that. If you want to feed 300 million Americans with bugs, you need vast amounts of factories, and those factories, they need a ton of energy to function. So is that even the bugs? I think the bugs is like the electrical cars. It's a scam. It won't be, even if the bugs were not toxic to humans, you won't be able to feed 300 million Americans. How? If they shut down power plants. Think about it. It's not going to be the bugs that you have in your regular soil in your regular land that are going to be able to feed 300 million. You need like 300. I think you need 2 pounds of bugs per day to be able, if they were not toxic. I just say you need 2 pounds of bugs to feed a normal human being.
What,
So you
per day?
fucked. Oh yeah. It contains almost no nutritional value, anyways. It's just dry shit. If you look at the fucking bird, if you look at the bird, he spends all his day eating bugs, and he's small. He needs to eat at least 30 to 50 grams of bugs each day to maintain himself alive. So what do you think is going to happen to a big ass human? Yeah, we're fucked if they destroy the farming industry. We're gonna die. Yeah.
Okay, so I heard about this lichen. I think it's called lichen or lictin or whatever the fuck this shit that bugs are like magnets for parasites. That bugs attract parasites. So humans shouldn't even be eating fucking bugs. And I've been hearing rumors. That they've been sneaking bugs into the food. I've been hearing the rumors that certain foods have crickets and other shit, and mostly crickets, which is bullshit. I mean, which should not be happening. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. If they have bugs or if they don't, that's one thing. And then the other thing is as far as like mass producing this shit in you mentioned that $400 Nova something in Nova Feed or whatever the company was in France, a $400 million plant in France, and then there's a cricket. There's a huge cricket farm in Canada, and this shit is out there and it's in your face, and there's so many normies that are just gonna ignore. There's so many normies that are going to ignore and just let this shit happen. And I'm not down with any of this shit. I don't want to eat bugs. I certainly it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that this information is available and more people they don't fucking know. And this is the purpose of this channel right here. It's that most normies they don't know they don't know that it's put out there. They don't know that it's written. They don't know that it's on websites. They don't know that it's they don't know that it's out there. There's videos and there's articles and it's out there that that the bug plants are here. I don't want to eat fucking bugs and sewer water. Certainly. I certainly don't want to eat any of this fucking shit. You know, so and supposedly it's coming and the food shortages and the famines, they're coming. So I mean, wake the fuck up, people. That's all I gotta fucking say.
Well, the problem is that all the sheeple have been told if you believe in all this stuff, it's a conspiracy theory. You know, you're one of those people. You're a tinfoil hat conspiracy. If I was to tell you that 3 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have been laughed at. You know, you're a nutter. But now it's all starting to come forward. They're not even hiding it anymore. It's in plain sight. So why do they need these massive factories to grow bugs? Like, that's the scary part, is like they're not even hiding it anymore. It's like, this is what's going to happen, and you're being laughed at. But people won't be laughing when you got to eat it.
I'm gonna give us three, because we already talked. Everybody talked about eating bugs, right? Everybody had their 3 minutes on eating bugs already.
Yeah.
Okay, now this 3 minutes, like this 3 minutes you could talk about whatever the fuck you want, and you can have your close, because I'm out of topics. So this 3 minutes, for each of us is to close and to give our final thoughts about whatever the fuck. And you have some good points that you're on right, and you have some good points right now that you're on. And you're on now.
Cool. The us three have been talking about for the last hour now is being dead on. You can go research it and look it up, and you're going to see that we're not making this stuff up. We're not fear mongering. It's out here on plain damn sight. Blind Freddy can see this. Why can't you? Don't believe the media, because they're in cahoots with the powers that be to control you and to tell you what to believe in and what you're going to do. And that's the problem, because not too far down the tracks, you will be eating bugs. There will be no food. They're not talking about this. That's their job, is to, you know, tell the news, not make the bloody news up. And what we've been saying for the past hour is being dead on, people. So you need to wake the hell up and start looking at the reality of what's coming down the pipeline, because when the shit really does hit the fan, you'll be screaming out, how come I didn't know this? How come I didn't see this? And it's been hiding in plain sight all along, and your government will not save you. They don't care about you. All they're worried is about themselves and making money. That's all they are. So that's where we're at, gents. And I believe more and more people are waking up, but I think it's far too late to try and save yourselves. You need to start growing your own food, canning, whatever you got to do to start preserving your own food, because food will become scarce within the next 12 months. So that's where I see things happening, and I don't see 2022 getting better anytime soon. I reckon 2023, 24 is going to be a lot worse than what it's been the last 2 years. It's going to be a complete shit fight, I reckon, next year. So if you thought the last 2 years were hard, you haven't seen anything yet. They're just winding up to bring down this economy. That's all I have to say about that. It's been a really good stream with you three of you on here, and I'll just leave it there with my 30 seconds ago. And yeah.
Excellent closing. Sith is up.
I don't think you can inform the normies about this because most watch the TV and they don't want to be deprogrammed from it. If you talk about it openly, I've tried several times. They think you are a crazy nuts, or they will not listen to you. Or they'll say you have your imagination is too far away from us. I mean, you must be fucking insane. So you have to let them suffer the consequences of not finding out that the system, as they know it, is going to implode on itself, and they will eat the bugs, and they will starve to death. They will cry on their bed each night, and that will be it for them because they will have no options. Most of them have no life skills. They do not know how to work the land. I see a fraction of the population revolting, those who are already awake right now. I think it's between 20 to 40% of a population, depending on each country. Those will wake up. Maybe some other normies. Maybe those will survive, but I have my doubts. As you said earlier, 99% of the people, as we know it, they don't have any. We don't have any life skills. I don't know how to farm the land. Let's be honest. I'm ready to do it, but I don't know how to. And it's mostly the same for even the people who live in rural areas. They go to the supermarkets to buy food, so they rely on this system to feed themselves. So if you look in the grand scheme of things, there's going to be a large amount of the Western and third world population that is going to die. And I truly believe that those depopulation numbers are true. By 2030, they predict that I've seen some guys say that half the human population will be gone in the next 8 years, and it does make sense. I mean, it's shutting down the everything. Yeah, it's kind of scary if you think about it. You're gonna see things you have never seen in your life if it happens. Horrible shit, rape, murder, all that kind of shit. People killing each other for a loaf of bread. I know I'm being black pilled, but you have to be realistic in this shit. The way things are going, it's horrible. And I can hope people wake up before it happens, but hope doesn't feed you.
Let's see. Oh, shit. All right, I'm going to recap on everything that just happened. So we talked about the globalist. We talked about food shortage. We talked about energy inflation, and we talked about eating bugs, and basically, like with all of that, yeah, people. I honestly, you know what? It might sound, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna tell you. I don't need to sell you shit. I'm just gonna tell you. With all this shit with female nature and simps, they can't fucking wake up and they can't realize that we live in a cuck society. I don't have that much faith that there's gonna be a mass awakening until we're in this shit, and even then, until we're in the shit where there's blackouts and people can't afford energy and people can't afford food and there's no food available and there's nothing but bugs and sewage water. I don't, and even then you're gonna have people who are just gonna go along, or they're not gonna question, or they're just gonna die off. And this lichen shit, this shit where there's this particle in bugs, the shit where there's this lichen shit that's a parasite that's poisonous. This lichen shit is toxic to humans, and you know, and that alone it might kill off humans or the starvation. And do I have faith? And do I have faith that people are going to wake up? Do I have absolute faith that normies are going to wake up and start to realize this shit? Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't have any fucking. How are there still simps? I was a simp. I was a simp at one point in time. I was. There's levels. There's levels to the awareness. But do I believe? But do I truly believe? But do I truly believe that people are going to wake the fuck up? That there's going to be a mass awakening before shit really hits the fan? Do I think there's going to be a mass awakening before bugs are being sold as the only source of fucking food? Do I absolutely believe there's going to be this mass awakening? Fuck no. And I'm finished. Fuck no. I don't absolutely believe in humanity. I'm worth a fucking damn.
Yeah. Can, can I interject something before? So, if you have food, if you have real food, and if people around you come to help, come for your help, you are going to deny them. That's what you must do.
Come for my come.
Yeah.
Come for my help. How? Come for help.
Well, if they know you have food and you know them personally, if they come, I'm talking in general words. Are you going to help them? Maybe them out of your kindness. I don't think most people are going to do that in the prepper community.
They got to pull. They got to pull their own weight. Do you know? Here's the thing about this Sith and the dark side is most normies is most people they think the dark side of the Force is
Yes.
this evil unnatural just evil shit. It is really not. The dark side of the Force, it really emphasizes usefulness. Usefulness, not only in looking at other people, not only it's not parasitic. The dark side it's the dark side it can be, but the dark side it looks at usefulness in terms of self and in terms of others. And honestly, if you're honestly, if you're useless, if there's a food shortage and you are fucking useless, if you are not willing to grow, if you're not willing to raise food and to grow food and to fight the battle against whoever is causing this shit, you are fucking useless. And you deserve whatever the fuck, should be coming to you.
Well, you deserve what nature has in place for you, basically starving. That's all. You do nothing, you let them starve. And if they want to, and if they become violent and threaten your life, you kill them. That's all. That's how it is.
I only help somebody. I only help somebody who's useful. I only help somebody who's willing to fucking to help themselves.
For example,
I'm only willing to help people who are willing to fight with me.
I have an idea. For example, there's a guy. He has no life skills except being a doctor. Well, if he's ready to help you cure diseases, then you'll give him some food. Why not? To pull his weight.
But if we're in a food shortage, a doctor who does his specialty is damn near useless. If we need to raise food, and this guy's on his high horse that he knows how to, that he knows his medical specialty. If he's on his high horse and all he knows is his medical specialty, and that's all he's willing to do, is not willing to be fucking useful, then to hell with him. And to hell with
No,
his ass.
yeah, you're right to some extent. But if he's yeah, well,
If shit
you'll have
needs to get done, if shit needs to get done, if shit needs to get done, and he's on his high horse, he doesn't want to do anything, and all he knows is his specialty, he can eat shit. He can
yeah,
eat
you're
bugs
right.
and shit. He can eat
You'll have
bugs
to
and
be
shit for
more.
the rest of his fucking life.
You'll have to be more than a
He-
doctor. You'll have to.
He can eat
Yeah.
he can eat bugs and shit for the rest of his fucking short ass life if that's what we're facing. If that's what
Yeah,
we're
you're right.
facing, he can eat bugs and shit until he dies.
Yeah, so you'll have to be a doctor and be ready to help on the ranch, basically. Otherwise, you can fucking die. Yeah, you're right. It's based on merit. So you don't want to merit this food?
It's usefulness.
Yeah.
You have to learn. You have to learn how to be useful in any given situation.
But do you agree that if even if they don't have the knowledge, but they're ready to work with their hands on the farm, do you think people are going?
Then he's useful.
Yeah.
Then he would be useful. If
So
he
you're
was
gonna
willing.
give you're gonna give him a chance if they pass the
Well, I
smell
mean,
test.
if he sees what's happening, and he's willing to get his hands dirty, and he's willing to contribute and to be useful, then why would I set him aside and banish
Yeah,
him?
you're right. Yeah, you're right. But you'll have to be. I'm talking in general. You have to have an instinct to know if the guy or the woman you're gonna allow in your community is trustworthy. If he's not going to kill you for your food, if he's not going to rape one of your people, you know what I mean? You have to have that instinct too, and it comes from practice.
Well, we had this conversation this morning, me and my missus, and she wanted to give some of our fresh produce to her sister, and I said no. I said, did she help me buy the packet of seeds? Did she help me sow the fucking thing? Did she help me harvest it? No. And a lot of preppers out here are the same mindset. They're only harvesting for themselves, or their own community, like very tight knit community people. So, unless you're willing to help one another and to put the seeds in the ground and all that, I wouldn't be helping anyone. I mean, sure, if someone was begging and pleading, you might feel some sort of empathy towards them, but I'm not going to hand out my fresh produce that I took the time to grow and my money, my effort, my resources to anyone. No. I mean, what are you going to give me back in return? That's what I'd like to say. I mean, that's valuable to any more than gold or silver or crypto or whatever. What are you going to give me back in return for my hard labor? And I'll just leave that there.
Yeah, maybe people will only help the people of their own families if they're worth something. That's all. That's what is going to happen in the prepper communities. If you have a member of your family, a brother that denied your, but you're gonna tell him, I'm going to give you food if you participate in the farm. Otherwise, you can fuck off.
I gotta be honest. I gotta be dead. I'm 1,000%. I'm fucking honest. I don't have absolute faith, and I think we're gonna be, and I think that much of the world, if not all, I think that much of the world is going to be in shit hit the fan. No more food. No more affordable energy, or no more energy. Period. Eating bugs and drinking sewer water, and maybe bowing down. And this is what the elites want. The elites. They want us to bow down and beg for a great reset. They want us to beg. They want us to bow down, and they want us to beg for pods, and for digital currency, and for social credit scores, and for electric cars, and
There's
just for
if you need clothes, buy them now. They're not going to be available in the next future. That's something that is very important to. Everything comes from China.
yeah, well, if you ask me, we don't fucking need them. I know they have sweatshops. I know they have sweatshops where they pay a fucking a 5-year-old kid half a fucking penny to
Mm.
to create 100 shirts in a fucking day. I know it's fucked up. I'm like that.
Yeah,
But but still, we don't need them. Even though there are kids in Malaysia and Bangladesh and China and wherever the fuck who are getting paid nothing to bust their ass for 12, 15 hours a day in a sweatshop. The only reason that we ask for that, the only reason why we ask for that, the only reason why it's on the market is because it's so cheap and affordable. But the point is, we can find ways in our own countries, and we're all in 3 different countries. We can find ways. We can find ways in our own separate different countries to fix our own problems.
yeah, I agree.
And
Now the reason,
unless anybody must add something, I was going to close it down.
well, I can say the reason we. I will just say this: the reason we exported all those services to Asia is because of inflation. We had to export it because the currency was losing value, and we wanted cheap stuff. So basically, we told them we're gonna give you $1 a day. You're gonna work and make fucking t-shirts for nothing, like a slave.
And that's the sweatshop, and that's bullshit, and that's the sweatshops. And if we have to manufacture our own fucking clothes, we don't even need fucking sweatshops in our own countries. We don't need that shit. We could pay we could pay fair wages, and people could be productive, and all the people on Section 8, and all the people. And here's the thing: it almost sounds like I'm pushing for communism, but I'm really not. But
No,
like because in my utopia, everybody is useful. But
yeah,
that's communism. But what I'm thinking of, it seems like communism, but it's not. I don't want the failed communist ideas.
well,
But in my ideal civilization, everybody is useful, and it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you throw out garbage, or you're a police officer, or you work, or you make fucking jeans for a fucking living. You should be able to live comfortably. You should be able to live comfortably, regardless. And it sounds like I'm communism, but I don't want to go in that direction of
well,
communism.
in communism, if you read the manifesto of Karl Marx, he said specifically that 50% of the population will work for the other half of it. So it's
And
not exactly communism.
and fuck that bullshit. And with that, we gotta wake. We gotta try. We gotta try. At least to wake these people up.
Well, I can say this: try not to starve to death, AKS and TNFS, because the next few months are going to be horrible. And when the power and the internet goes down, you have to be on your own, and you have to keep the information that you gathered across the internet to survive, and your own life skills.
It's gonna be complete. it's going to be complete on pandemonium if things keep going. If people don't wake up, and I don't care. And I don't care if they baby step it, or I don't care if all this shit happens in the next 6 months. I don't care if they put bugs on fucking food shelves in the next fucking 6 months. The point is, we need to wake up people. I'm right the fuck now and tell them who's pulling the strings. We need to wake up people and tell them who's fucking this shit up and what their plans are and how society is going to go straight the fuck. I'm downhill. So I'm about to end it.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about the financial collapse of the banks and all that shit, but they're going to take down a vast amount of people.
Well, the only reason that that's going to happen is because of all the other shit that we've been talking about.
Yeah, it's all linked because everything is linked. You need money to fucking finance everything. So yeah.
All right. Well, see, I always try to tell people. I always try to give people their final thoughts, and it always turns into, I want to go last, and I want to close, and I got another thing to say. I don't know if the Narc Show wants to say something else. I don't know if Sith wants to say something else, but
well, I can say this: prepare for the worst. That way, if things get better, at least you'll have everything to.
If you're a normie, my final thought is you're already fucked up. My final thought is if you already went along with the jab, if you're already along with the jab, if you believe that you should get your 5th booster and you're scared of monkeypox, you're already fucked up. You're already damn near I'm fucking hopeless in my eyes. And that's the vast majority. So do I have faith? Do I have absolute faith in humanity? Fuck no. And I'm done. And
yeah.
but I still will fucking try. For myself, I still will fucking try for myself, for people that matter to me, and even for the general public who is a fucking disgrace in my own opinion. And good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night. See you later.